What's up, people? Oh man, it's like 4:30 a.m. Don't you hate it when you wake up and you realize that you're all out of indica? And then it's like 4 a.m. and you're like, oh, and you should have gone to the store. Well, that's how I'm feeling right now. Might as well go ahead and like put out some good information then. Man, oh man. It's like, when you're laying there and then you have all these thoughts and you're like, oh yeah, this would be something good to talk about or learn about or give information about. And then when it's showtime, you kind of just forget shit. Yeah, that's why it's really good to keep notes and journals and things like that. A lot of people think that journaling is so corny or who has time for that, but it actually aids in a lot of different processes. And journaling or creating to-do lists or just writing your ideas down is the beginning of a lot of different steps that can help you improve your life. Number one, you can figure things out. Number two, you can manifest. Number three, you can remember things. Number four, you can structure your life literally by just writing down a few different things. And everyone has like different ways of writing, so you just have to figure out what suits you, and one can only figure that out by starting. So I suggest that everyone get a journal, whether you're, a musician or, just a mom like me, or just whatever, a writer, anything really. Even if you're a construction worker, you can write down your plans. So writing is not above anybody, and we all have our different levels, but we all need to do it. That way we can all have something where we can go back and just see what we're thinking. The brain is so powerful, but yet it's kind of mushy, and it doesn't always give us the information that we need at the time that we need it. That's why we have to write things down or record things. I like these little videos because number one, I love looking at myself, but number two, it makes it more fun for me to share the info that's going on in my head. All right. I know I've been really quiet lately, but that's because I've been learning a lot. I've been processing um, information, thoughts, ideas, like processing and also reprocessing a lot of things. And as humans, you know, being the people that we are, I think that we go a little too hard on ourselves. Not me personally, because I like to be happy, but I've seen that a lot of people are timid or insecure about revisiting an idea that maybe didn't work for them in the past. And even if they've evolved or learned new information, sometimes they're hesitant to go back to that one idea because at the time that they were thinking about it, they weren't really capable of it and it didn't make sense. So once we evolve, if we want to go back to a certain idea or thought, that's the best thing because then you can understand it better. But sometimes we get insecure and we think, oh, those old feelings come back. And that's the thing about feelings. They literally just come at any time and they could be triggered by any damn thing in the world. It could be a sound, smell, taste, environment. We don't control that kind of stuff. All we control is um, the fact of, are we going to believe this? Or are we going to follow through with this or not? So it's okay to grow as a person and then go back to things that maybe you didn't understand at the time, because what's to say that now you're not an expert at it, So you got to give yourself a shot. Don't just give up so easily on yourself. And that's the number one thing I see with people. They give up so easily because they get distracted or they have to face a fucking obstacle or someone else hinders them. And then they get all off track. You have to realize that there are groups of people and energies that are dedicated just to throw you off your track, to keep you distracted, to keep your attention somewhere other than where it needs to be. And it comes on so many different levels, all the way from our family members to our friends to media to just coworkers, people that we think care about us. You have no idea what people's intentions are. And if one thing I know for sure, a lot of people have hidden agendas. And I'm not saying that you or that I need one as well, but we all need our goals. And usually a hidden agenda is associated with somebody who's lying or has like other motives that may not be good for you, but they're just putting up an act. So if you're a person who doesn't really understand the idea of having a hidden agenda, that's okay. That just means that hopefully you're not worthless because you're not out here tricking other people or trying to manipulate them that way you can advance on that. So here's another concept or idea. Most people think of their life as a movie and they're like supposed to be the star of their movie. You know, that can be misleading. I would say look at your life as a game. You're a player and this is a big ass game, but you want to win in this game, okay? And you don't really know what the levels are. You don't know what challenges you're about to face. You don't know who the hell to trust other than yourself and, you know, your higher power. For me, it's my creator, my divine creator, who I believe is the creator of everything, earth, all the people, no matter what color you are. He controls. And I don't want to say he, it's just I'm so trained to say he, but our creator can't be described as a he or a she or anything like that. No one can really describe who created the world and us because it's just too great. It's like it's out of our understanding to really know who our creator is, but just know that the creator is the divine one. And the divine one rules all the good. And good will overpower bad always, 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 always. Even though it doesn't look that way all the time, but those are the facts. And you know that by witnessing the people that are good, because then they're always happy. They have this certain type of glow about them, this charisma, this ambition, versus the people that are just trying to get ahead, you know? And there are a lot of people that are shining, but when you interact with them, you know these motherfuckers ain't happy. And happiness is the key to success. There are a lot of people that are successful, but they're not happy. And for me, happiness is success. And no one can just be happy all day, every day. But it's one's habits that will lead a person to stay in this happy zone. So you think of the game, and this is a game almost like Zelda, you know? Remember you had like the legend and you had like all these different tools or keys that you used? Well, that's essentially how our life is. And you really have to prepare your player, which is you, with everything that could be needed on your next level or your journey. And there are going to be bad guys that are incognito as good guys, and they will pretend to be your friends, your lovers, your teachers, your bosses, some of them even just as your competition. And it's like to a certain degree that people kind of like just assimilate with what their powers are, right? So this is a video game, everyone has powers. Even like the most unnoticed person on the fucking corner has a purpose, okay? We don't know who these people are. The bum on the street the one that you think is fucking crazy, is literally on his cell phone reporting shit to somebody else. Everyone is reporting something to somebody else because they think that's helping them. Um, but in reality, we don't really need to do that to get ahead. But people are given this purpose, see? So everyone wants a purpose in life. When we're not able to formulate our own purpose, we expect other people to give us a purpose. And when someone does that for us, we're just like, oh, all hail to this person because of them now I have a job, or I have a purpose in life, or I can love this person, I can be friends with this person, I can help this person. Some people's purpose in life is just to help others, and that keeps them going. But I realized that that's not even a real purpose in life. Yeah, you should help others, but our real purpose in life is to help ourselves, to help our loved ones, which are like maybe our kids. Well, for sure, our kids. For sure, help your kids. Um, but not always our family. Yeah, you can help your family by teaching them or being there for them, but most of all, we can help our family by leading by example. Especially if you come from like a family like mine or a background like mine where they don't always agree with what I have to say or what I think. So all I can do is just be a good person and lead by example and just show my family that, hey, I am happy. Because at the end of the day, I think that's all families want. They just want their kids to be happy and comfortable. So as long as we're showing other people that we are able to be happy and comfortable, I think they feel good for us if they're genuine, especially our moms. So our moms really just want us to be comfortable and happy. Now, everybody else I can't really speak on because I don't have a lot of experience dealing with family members that are constantly in my life. And that's because a lot of my family is overseas or just in different states. And I'm an only child, so it's always just been me. And then I had my son a long time ago who's going to be 17 soon. Wow. So it's just been me, my son, and then my mom. A lot of my experience is just me figuring it out for myself. I don't get a lot of feedback. And when I do get feedback, it's not always accurate. And now when I ask people for feedback, they really don't know what to say because I think they're almost shocked that I'm asking for feedback. And it's not because I'm insecure or because I have concerns or because I'm worried. It's just because I care. And even though I know I'm great, and I know this because of the way that I feel, and I know this because of the interactions I get from other people, but as a human that is misunderstood a lot, sometimes I wonder, how am I perceived? And I realize that that's my own fault. I shouldn't worry about how I'm perceived. If I know I'm happy and if I'm comfortable, who gives a fuck? Because that's when I get caught up in my insecurities. And now I'm giving the next person the power to tell me how I should be feeling or what I may or may not be thinking. A lot of times when you ask somebody a question, depending on their answer, a lot of their motives are revealed. There's so many haters out there. So many haters. And I can literally break down the type of haters, but this is not what I'm on here to talk about right now. I'm really just here to say that distractions come from everywhere, from the haters especially. And they will distract you in a way that will put you in a fucking dilemma. It will make you depressed. Distractions can make people depressed. So if you're a young person, or even if you're not young, if you're just a person, and if you're a woman, just know that there are a lot of odds against you. This is a man's world. Women are needed to fucking run the world, but at the end of the day, men control the world. The women just help run it. And that's an important part. So don't think I'm minimizing the role of being a woman. No, women are special. They are like goddesses. And they're needed to run the world. But who controls the world? Men do. Their egos do. Their fucked up subconscious controls the world. And that's a problem, you see. Men are extremely competitive and they compete against each other. And then they compete in ways that are almost inhumane. You know, they try to take each other's girls. They talk about each other's moms. They set people up. They do all kinds of shit. They use the women to manipulate each other. There's like just so many levels to this. So I'm not saying don't trust all men. But if you have a son, you got to work hard to make sure that he's not going to become one of these fucking slime balls out here who are manipulating women all the time or making them feel less of a person, because as a man, they can't do half the fucking shit that you as a woman can handle. Men are insecure beings. So don't be confused by the fact that, oh, men are so strong and, you know, oh, he's a man, he can handle it. Yeah, men are so strong physically, but mentally, men are really weak. If you hurt a man emotionally, it takes him much longer to get over it than it would a woman. And this is a fact. So this is why a lot of men are fucked up, because women have really hurt them. And men hurt women all day. And it's not always because they want to, but it's because they're not conscious about their actions. They just think like, oh, she's strong, you know, she can handle it. So as a woman, we think, oh, if this man's hurting me, you know, he's strong, so he can handle it. And that's the fucked up cycle that we're in. As women, no, we're not built to handle all the fucking lies and the fucking abuse that you men try to put on us. But as a woman, it's not okay for us to bash men or manipulate them or use them or, you know, try to control them with our, you know, more warm parts like our heart and other areas of our being. No, we have to nurture our men. Even if they're psychopaths and narcissistic, we still have to love them from a distance sometimes. But if it's our son or our dads or brothers, we have to make the conscious decision of being there for them. It's a lot of work, especially out here in America or just in the world. You know, there's so much pressure on men. And then there's something in the water that's like really just, you know, breaking down their manly components. So there's just a whole lot of shit going on in this world. So men and women do have to work together because each plays a certain role. And I don't believe in gender roles per se, but there are certain qualities that only men possess, and there are certain qualities that only women possess, and they can be interchangeable, but at the end of the day, men are usually more physically stronger than women, and we always have to be considerate of that. And as a woman, you know, we do need a man's touch, even if it's not often, but we do need that. And if you're a woman that's lacking that, it's probably because you don't connect with any men, and sometimes that's hard. So just stay strong, stay single for as long as you have to. There is a man that's gonna love you, and love doesn't always look like a, you know, like a husband and a wife. Sometimes it's just a friend or a mentor or a teacher. But when it comes to like being physically touched, yeah, that requires more of a bond and not always a relationship, but it does require a certain type of comfort level and intimacy. And that's not always hard to find. And I think as women, that's what drives us crazy, is when we don't have someone to be intimate with. Yeah, so that is a little tough. And that's my biggest challenge out here, is that I don't really have anybody to be intimate with. And the people that are close to me, it's not necessarily intimate. We're just cool, you know, we have a good bond, or I care about people. Me, I'm a person that cares about people, but not everyone is like me. So, I know I've been talking a lot, but that's because I have a lot of good information. This whole quarantine, I've been just learning a whole lot of shit and making my brain strong. And And I have every intention of sharing the information with you people. I'm sorry, I'm not always going to put it out in a way that you guys, want, because it will be random. And creativity is random. And you have to follow your creative flow. And if that means that you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're inspired, go with it. That's why environment is so important when it comes to the creative process. And a lot of us aren't able to be creative because our environment's fucked up, or because it's too distracting, or it's not comfortable. So if you want to be a person who's creative, who's making things, change your environment. Have a place that's comfortable, a place that you can control the flow of. Otherwise, you'll never be able to create something that you're happy with. And creativity kind of goes hand in hand with healing. So if you want to heal, you want to be creative, you want to grow, start with your environment. And normally people say start with your thoughts, but sometimes we don't factor in the fact that we don't factor in the environment. So how can one even begin to control their thoughts when their environment is so distracting or toxic or just uncomfortable? So if you're not able to control your thoughts, it's probably because your environment is in the way of that. Start with your environment, then go to your thoughts, and then start analyzing and evaluating every single thing that you encounter in your life. Not your thoughts per se, but all the interactions, all the things that happen to you. They could all be a big test. You can literally be one huge experiment. And that's not always a bad thing. People get paranoid or scared or timid because they think other people are watching them, or, they always wonder, like, why did this happen to me? It happened because you need to grow. You need to evolve. So each incident or circumstance is an opportunity for you to grow as a person, for your mind to get sharper. Now, why are people always watching us? It's because we're that interesting and we're that beautiful that people want to learn from us. And some people just want to see us fail. And we can't control those people because they're fucked up. They're on a whole nother level of fucked up. When people lie to you or try to manipulate you just so you can fall, no one can help that person. That person just has to be, and they're going to continue to be who they are. So it's just better not to even be involved with that person or help them or anything. Just don't even engage in that. But just know those people are all around us. And the best we can do is just keep working on ourselves. That way we can become better at dealing with those type of people. Now, back to what I was saying in the beginning. There are groups of people that are dedicated just to create this facade for the people that are trying, that are being real with themselves, that are being real with everybody, to a point that they break them down. So a person that's really being honest, working hard, may encounter so many toxic people that they eventually give up. And to me, that means you give up on yourself. So if you're fighting for a purpose, don't give up just because 20 people have let you down. Because how do you know that those 20 people weren't already aware of your plan to help others or to get ahead? So then, maybe these 20 people conspired, or maybe they didn't even conspire. Maybe they don't even fucking know each other. But how do you know that they didn't decide that, what? I'm going to stop her from accomplishing this thing because maybe I don't have the courage to do it. Or damn, she's going to end up fucking shining more than me. Everyone just wants to shine out here, And it's like, that's so dumb. Because you can literally just shine by being yourself. You don't have to stop somebody or, become an obstacle for somebody else just so you can continue shining. Those are insecurities. So many people are insecure. And confidence is one of the key factors of why people are fucking losing out here. And they're depressed. They're lazy. there's so many things, and it's because they have no confidence, and that's because there are groups of people dedicated to bring your confidence down every single day, every minute. So there are groups of people dedicated to bring down your confidence. There are groups of people dedicated just to distract you from your goals. There are groups of people dedicated to make you upset during the day. So now remember, this is a video game, so hopefully you're following me. So now you're in a video game, you're the main player, and now there's all these bad guys, because that's what it is in a video game. It's a villain. Now, this villain is here to put a thought in your head that may not be true, but it could be a fact, but it doesn't really have to be true. So just because your family member is crazy or suffering doesn't mean that you are. But this person's here to tell you, oh, well, you can't do it because look at your family member. Then we have the next person who's coming out to be like, yo, talk to me on the phone all day, so we can talk about a whole bunch of bullshit. That way you're not using your time effectively to get your shit done. Then we got the fuck boy over here who wants to fuck you 2 days out of the week, but the other 5 days he's not answering your calls. But that's because he wants to make sure that you're not going to actually go find a real partner out there. So all these people are working against you, and they're in groups, but they're not necessarily in the same group, but sometimes they are. So there's so much to consider out here. And no, you can't just sit around wondering who's against you and who's not. So all you can really do is just navigate and have your own little tests. You have to test people. You have to test your environment. You have to test yourself even. And you do that by trials, experimenting. And that's all I've been doing my whole life. I've been experimenting. I've been trying this, trying that. I've been nice to people. I've been mean to people. I've, said this. I've said that, just to see what would happen. And sometimes you have to realize that you may be a person that's also an experiment for somebody else. So this is just the facts of life. I would say that the more you are focused on yourself, the more people are going to try to throw you off your track. I remember when I started my podcast, my intention was to put out good information just so I can help people become better. And since the day I started my podcast, I've had so many distractions. And sometimes the distractions came as opportunities. And sometimes they came as people who needed help. Sometimes they came as, fun things. Sometimes they came as toxic things, just so many different levels. And overall, I realized that I hold the power. I'm in control of my actions. So what if this person's out here bleeding? So what if this person said that they fucking love me? So what if this person said that my hair is beautiful? So what if this person said that they want to be just like me? So fucking what? That don't mean shit to me. I have my own fucking goals. And those people could literally be just put in my path to distract me. There are a lot of master manipulators out here. You can't be getting manipulated. And half the world is being manipulated or controlled. The power of control is very addicting. It's like a drug. It's just as powerful as sex, drugs, money, love, all that, control, being able to control somebody and their mind. That is some crazy shit. A lot of people get off on that. A lot of men get off on that. Women too. And you have to be in control of yourself. And that's what a lot of people will test you on. They want to see if you control yourself or if they control you. So I sometimes play a role. And the role is the dumb role, right? That I'm just so silly, I don't really care, or hey, I don't really understand, or I'm passive. But in reality, I keep record of everything in my mind or in my journals. And not because I want to get people back, but just because I want to learn so I can sharpen myself. And I think that's the difference between me and the next person. I keep a record of things not so I can get back at people, but because I want to sharpen myself, because I don't want to deal with those same things over and over, especially things that hurt me or really aren't going to benefit me, or things that are unnecessary. I want to avoid that as much as I can in the future, you know? So I have to keep track of things. And a lot of times you can see what a person is up to by the way you talk to them, or by the things that you say to them, your interactions with them. And I'm just realizing that a lot of people don't give a fuck about me. They never have. They know I'm smart as fuck, and that intimidates them. And a lot of people don't even know how smart I am. Only I know. And even I minimize myself at times because, you know, we all get that way. We always think like, oh, am I... Like, we doubt ourselves. That's normal. So when you're so kind to a person and they look at that as a form of weakness on your part, that's how you know that person is worthless. So say if I'm nice to somebody, but they view me as a weak person for being nice to them, then that means they have a problem. I'm not the problem. They're the problem. That's why it's so good to be nice to people, because depending on how they react, you know if they're a problem or not. When people are nice to me, I like them. You know, it makes me want to be nicer to them. But sometimes people are just nice to you to make you put your guards down. So you have to like give it time. Just because people are nice to you doesn't mean they really care about you. And just because people respect you doesn't really mean they care about you. Just because people are friendly with you doesn't really mean they care about you. How can people care about you if they don't even care about themselves? So you can really figure out who's a good person by evaluating how much they care about themselves, okay? And a person that is manipulating other people probably doesn't care about themselves. And just because they're living a certain way or doing certain things doesn't necessarily mean they care about themselves. So when you're getting into a situation or thinking about getting into a relationship or just anything, you have to evaluate the person or the situation for some time. And not every opportunity is going to be that way, so you do have to seize the opportunities. But when we're talking relationships here, we're talking partnerships, take your time, know what you're getting into. But now if it's an opportunity, yeah, go and fucking seize the moment. You know, jump all over that opportunity. And as long as you're going in with pure intentions, you're going to win either way. And winning doesn't always mean money. Winning can mean a personal victory. It can mean boosting your confidence. It can mean learning some shit. So winning can look like a lot of different things. Now, as long as you're not antagonizing yourself by doing things that make you sad, you're winning. As long as you're learning, you're fucking winning, okay? And as long as you're doing better than the last time, you're winning. As long as you're not stepping over your own boundaries, you're winning. And it's okay to give yourself time to feel things out, to test people. That's okay. It's okay if people let us down, because technically most people aren't strong enough to follow through. And it's because they're mentally fucked up. So don't take it personal. You know, just because we're there for somebody all the time doesn't mean that they're going to be there for us, and that's okay. And we can't burden others for not being there for for us in a way that we need them to be. That's why we just have to be there for ourselves. And if you're a person that's there for other people a lot, continue doing that. But just know who's there for you when you need them. And like I said, I don't mean this as in like who's there to give you money. No. Who's there to tell you the things that you need to hear? Who's there to fucking give you a true answer? Who's there when you call them? You know, who's there to basically be in your corner when you need them? Keep account of that. And I don't mean who's there for you after, you know, they think that you can help them. No. Who's there for you when you know no one's there for you? Those are the people you need to keep close. So let's end it on that. Let me know what y'all think, because I'm gonna just keep putting out these videos from now on. Why not? It's my podcast. I can do what the hell I want to do. And if you don't like the format, then let me know what type of format you prefer, because I care and I want to help the people. But most of all, I want to help myself, because I want to be a good mom. And yeah, I want to be loved. But a lot of times we can't take love. All we can do is love others. And if you're a genuine person, you begin to realize that we receive love by just giving it. And one day, maybe you'll have a soulmate. Maybe you won't. But that's why you gotta love yourself. And hopefully, if you have kids, you can just love them. You know, I love my son so much. And I think that's why I'm okay with being single for now. You know, eventually I do want somebody. But if I don't, then that's okay. I'm not fearful. But I do want a partner. And that's not always easy to find. That's why you just have to stop looking and trust yourself and just keep bettering yourself. And then somebody will show up, somebody that you like, somebody that you choose, not just because of the sex or because they look cool, but because they make you feel good. And that's what true love is. You want somebody that makes you feel good, without stipulations. That's true love, and that's true friendship. All right, you guys, hopefully the cannabis shop will open soon. That way I can get my meds going and stay focused out here. You can win. Just stay focused.